Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of the Smiths in the Black Channel here, Ticker Tacker, and if it's Tuesday, it's time to load up the urban assault vehicle for the Strat attack. We got the end of the quarter, end of the month, and some important things just on a daily basis today to show you. So here, to start off, right, we had a 2-2 reversal on the daily, right, here. It's a slight lower low, and then which is a 2 down, and then boom, to become these become an outside bar of these guys, right? You see that? Didn't quite take that out because we're still in a tight range, right? In the weekly, we slightly take that out, but we're in a 2-week inside range, right? And so the thing about it was when we started to rally at the end of the day and all this kind of stuff. Here, let's go to the 60. See the triangle. Like so. So when we have the inside 60s here, every reason to believe that that's going to work to the upside, and I'll show you why. Once again, I've talked about simultaneous breaks, okay? So if you do this and you have a scan, right, that shows you all the stocks that were above yesterday's high, right, you're going to look at, see, it's almost everybody. MU, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Citicorp, Slob, it's across the board, Visa, Tesla, all this kind of stuff. And then if you do a scan for everything that took it out was below yesterday's lows on a daily basis, you're going to see this. A who's who of nobodies. Look at this garbage. It's like a lot of this stuff you may have never heard of, right? Is there anything that you've heard of? Obviously, you've heard of like WLL, but look at this garbage, right? And so when you have that massive break to the upside, there's almost no way they're going to turn that around. Okay, so you need to understand that. If somebody's trying to look at the SPY chart, like it's coming into resistance, it's not going down, dude. All right, it's called a simultaneous break. So the next thing that's going to be going on right now as we end the quarter is we have massive amounts of inside quarters, and I'll get to some of the charts on that. But if we go do the search here, so the question is here. So you got Boeing and Ford and Bank and United Airlines and MU and AMD and NCLH and Citicorp, and you can see it's just a massive, massive list of inside quarters. And so, as I've been saying for this year, there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers, right? And so, if we go to the SPY monthly here, you'll see that these 3 months are the inside quarter, right? This is our last quarter's 3 months, and we're still in this range. How do we get out of that is going to be the question. So just like we had massive amount of inside months here and we took to the upside, the question is, do we take all the inside quarters up and all go blast into the highs thanks to fat stacks, Powell, and maybe a vaccine or something? Or because we're an inside bar of all this, do we come back down through here and start a new price discovery series, right? Just like we're seeing on the 60. So because this is an inside bar, albeit on a quarterly basis, it's all the same kind of stuff. It's just on different time frames. Because if we go back to the SPY weekly, last week was an inside week, and so when you have that consolidation, price discovery is going to start over again, right? And so that's exactly what happened. You get down here, you make some lows, you make a new high, you go boom, you come back through the range and discover, and then you come back through up in here and you get the try. So one of the things we'll be looking here is if it's going to be strong enough to come up and see this one up in here. See, if you remember, this wasn't high enough to take that out unless it comes blasting up here and then you get a greater try. See, so that price discovery is going to work the same way, and this is why you see the guys drawing horizontal lines going to go nuts, right? I'm going to buy it against support. Are you? Boom. Oh, it is the breakout. Is it? Bam. It's all right. I'm going to buy it against support again. Just bam. Right? Just getting crushed. I'm going to sell it against resistance, right? And all that kind of stuff. So the people that don't know what we know, that's why they pull their hair out trying to figure out what's going on. So once again, on that monthly, we're closer to taking the downside. We had the Qs go blasting into the highs. So far, the Qs are nowhere near a reversal on the monthly, right? They're not inside on the quarter, and they're nowhere near a reversal on the monthly. So we can go down to the diamonds. You're going to see this, closer to taking the downside, right? These guys are still inside, small cappers, right? And then it's going to be a matter of some of these big boys in the Qs, can they keep going, right? I mean, a lot of this stuff is like, does the madness continue? Because you have some challenged groups. If you go to transports, you can see this, much closer to taking this out, and that's going to give pandemics. American Airlines, which side of that month do you take out? United, which side of that month do you take out? CCL, RCL closer to the 2-2 reversals on the downside, all that kind of stuff. You can look at play, right? Pandemic. So was potentially another wave for those guys. The way it's possibly playing out over there, because they're closer to the lows of the month, right? And can take all that stuff out. So you can also look energy having some issues. XLE, this is 3 months in an inside quarter, but still in this month. It couldn't even get out of this month, and closer to the downside in OIH, right? And XOP, and that's going to give you stuff like Exxon looking like this. Ugh. Chevron, like that. You've got, closer to taking out these monthly lows, and you can go to the bigger guys, EOG, PXD, and they're all still closer to the downside. Doesn't mean they're going to take it out, but XEC. But we want to be aware of that, right? If there's going to be another wave down, these guys are a lot closer to taking the monthly lows out. Just like I showed you on the dailies, all those things today taking out the highs, we want to constantly watch that on the monthlies and the weeklies too. That's because that's what's going to give you the big move. When you have, like at the beginning of the year, the outside years, the inside years and down, and everything going to the downside, and then for the last quarter, everything reversing back higher. To a certain extent, we're always going back and forth motion of the ocean, right, if you're going to get these bigger moves. Another challenge group is going to be financials, FAS, XLF here. And so you're going to see stuff like Goldman Sachs here, once again, inside quarter, but closer to the downside. And it's got some room on that. But we'll see, and you can see like Wells Fargo. Yeah, American Express. Nice rally you got there, right? So they're all coming back in. You got Prudential, a lot of them looking the same in that group too. So be aware of that. The VNQ REITs also come back in from potential rev strat, inside bar and closer to taking that out. And you're going to have stuff like VNO, AVB, PSA. You get the idea. PSA. How's SPG looking? You got the idea. They're closer to taking out the lows too. So then if we go to some other things here, just going around the horn, you got some burritos came up, and now that's an inside month right near the highs, and so that's a continuation. And so what that means is that if it does take this out, the magnitude's only to take that out, which is good, and it still might keep going, as a lot of things that we've seen, because we had such a nice month with ZM going inside month and up, and Tesla, there's all you needed. Tesla and ZM for the inside months and up this month, right? That's all you need. So we'll see. In Palo Alto here, the good thing about this is an inside month, and it still has some room for the highs. So when you have like a bunch of those high-flying techers going blast into the highs, one of the things you want to have is a range to come through, because there's going to be guys who said, this is resistance, this is resistance, this is resistance. Stop them out, bam, take them out. So we'll see how Palo Alto goes. You got F5 networks stuck in here as a 2-month inside pattern, and it's also been higher if they want to start moving around in that group. You got AYI here, another getting closer to the lows. Interesting for the Dow Jones too, because Dow Jones here, like I said, if we take this out, we can start maybe get the internal try and start getting them going. And over there you can have IBM doing that, potential rev strat down on the inside quarter. You got McDonald's going back towards the lows, shooter counters, hammer style, mini mines, Triple M having some issues there too. So we'll see what comes of that. In the bio, ILMN stays inside month and almost coming up on the greater tries. We can redraw that, and you can see all this here like so. If we want to finish off the broadening formation in ILMN, you get AGIO here staying an inside month. That's also been a lot higher. If we take that monthly out, we've been watching this one for a while, like so, if they want to get that thing going. If we go to gold, GLD just keeps going towards the highs, and it's been higher in history. So you got stuff like FNV here, trying to go for the 222-monther. Continuation here, 2 up, 2 down, and bam, Newmont, a lot of that stuff is looking similar. GDX, I think it just pokes down a little bit. GDXJ, like so, inside month. So we'll see a bunch of that stuff if they want to keep on the golds. And besides the airlines, you got UPS that might do something in the trannies, because we have this formation here, and it did go inside month and up, and it stayed up. The problem besides being an inside quarter, albeit closer to taking the highs out, is you already stopped all these guys out, and you got to climb this wall now, right? So, but we'll keep an eye on that with FedEx and the trannies if UPS can continue that move. If you go to, GOLD and the golds also, it would be RevStrat to the upside month. More trouble for the chickens. Tyson, TSN coming back, potential RevStrat. PPC stayed inside month and down. And SANM here just stuck there doing nothing on the inside quarter. But that's a good thing about that thing is it's close to taking either side of the quarter. More pandemic stuff would be Live Nation here coming back in. So anybody that's going to be affected by all this stuff, we want to see coming into the third quarter, how are they going to position, how do big boys want to position themselves? Do they want to just keep pouring it into the big guys, the big cap tech, Teslers and Shoppies and all that kind of stuff that's been ripping? Or do they try and bottom pick this stuff, or do they flush the toilet? So we don't tell them, they tell us. So we let them open. When people are like, what's your favorite stock? I'm like, the one that doesn't stop going. So we let them open. Just 2 days left. We got a 3-day weekend. So we'll see how that sets up to start next week. Most things closer to taking out some of those bigger things, taking out the monthly lows. But we're going to play them as you see them, let them open. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith. Oh, the Smith in the Black Smith in the Black channel here at Ticker Talker with the Strat Attack.